Dean Martin was laughing at a joke when he heard the words that made his blood run cold. "Your brother Bill. I heard he died. Stress, probably. Trying to keep up with his famous little brother. That kind of jealousy eats at a man. Literally eats at his heart until it stops." The man who said it was Vincent Morello, a Chicago mob boss with a body count that nobody could prove but everybody knew about. He was standing 3 feet away, surrounded by 4 men who looked like they killed people for a living. Because they did. Dean stopped laughing. His smile disappeared. And in that moment, everyone in that hallway knew something terrible was about to happen. Las Vegas, July 1968. The Desert Inn. Dean Martin was the biggest star on the Strip. He had a television show watched by millions. He had movies that broke box office records. He had sold-out performances every single night. But none of that mattered right now. What mattered was that a mob boss had just mocked his dead brother. And Dean had a choice to make. Walk away and keep the peace, or defend Bill's memory and make an enemy who could have him killed. To understand what Dean did next, you need to understand who Bill was. William Crecchetti, Dean's older brother, 7 years older, the one who taught Dean how to throw a punch, the one who protected him from bullies when they were kids in Steubenville, Ohio, the one who worked in the steel mills his whole life while Dean chased dreams of stardom. Bill never complained, never asked for anything. When Dean made it big, Bill was proud, genuinely proud. No jealousy, no resentment, just a big brother happy to see his little brother succeed. When Bill died in 1965, Dean locked himself in his room for 3 days. He canceled shows. He stopped eating. He cried more than he had cried since childhood. Bill wasn't just his brother. Bill was his hero. And now Vincent Morello was making jokes about him. Dean looked at the mob boss, really looked at him. Vinny was short, thick in the middle, slicked back hair, a smile that never reached his eyes, the kind of man who was used to people being afraid of him. Dean wasn't afraid. That's a terrible thing to say. Vinny's smile flickered. "What? You heard me, making jokes about my dead brother, suggesting he died from jealousy. You didn't know him. You never met him. You have no idea what kind of man he was." The hallway went quiet. Vinny's associates looked at each other. Nobody talked to Vincent Morello like this. Nobody. Vinny stepped closer. His voice dropped. "You got some nerve, Martin. You know who I am. I know exactly who you are. Then you know you don't talk to me like that. I'll talk to you however I need to when you're disrespecting my brother's memory." Vinny's face went red. He moved even closer. They were inches apart now. Dean could smell the cigar smoke on his breath. "Your brother was nobody, a nothing. He died a nobody. The only reason anyone knows he existed is because of you. And even that didn't help him." Dean's hands clenched into fists. Every instinct screamed at him to swing, to break this man's jaw, to make him pay. But Dean didn't move. He just stood there, completely still. His voice got quieter, calmer, more dangerous. "Mr. Morello, I'm going to give you one chance to apologize, one chance to take back what you said, one chance to prove you have a shred of decency." Vinny laughed. "I don't apologize to anyone. I know you don't. But you're going to tonight. Or what? You're a singer, an entertainer. What are you going to do?" Dean smiled, but there was nothing friendly in it. "I'm going to walk onto that stage in 5 minutes, and I'm going to tell every single person in that showroom exactly what you just said. I'm going to tell them that Vincent Morello from Chicago made jokes about my dead brother, mocked his memory, suggested he died from jealousy, and then I'm going to point at you, sitting front row, and make sure everyone sees your face." Vinny's smile disappeared. "You wouldn't dare. Try me. You've got 30 seconds. You do that, you're making an enemy. A dangerous enemy. I already have. The question is whether you're smart enough to fix it." Silence. The associates looked nervous. This wasn't how things went with Vinny. People begged him for mercy. People made excuses. People didn't threaten him back. 20 seconds passed. Then Vinny spoke. His voice was tight, forced. "I apologize for my comments about your brother." Dean didn't blink. "Say his name." "What?" "Say his name." "Not my brother. His name." Vinny's jaw clenched so hard Dean could hear his teeth grinding. "I apologize for my comments about Bill. And you were wrong to say what you said. I was wrong to say what I said. Dean nodded slowly. Good. Now here's what's going to happen. You're going to sit in that showroom. You're going to watch my performance. And you're going to sit there quietly. No comments. No jokes. No disrespect. Understood? Vinny stared at him with pure hatred. But he nodded. Dean turned and walked away. He didn't look back. He could feel their eyes burning into his spine. He didn't care. In his dressing room, Dean's hands were shaking, not from fear, from rage. Pure, white-hot rage that he had kept locked inside while facing Vinny. His stage manager knocked. 5 minutes, Dean. Dean took a deep breath, pushed the anger down, locked it away. He had a show to do. He walked to the wings, heard the band playing his intro, heard the announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, the Desert Inn is proud to present Dean Martin. The spotlight hit him, and Dean walked onto that stage with a smile on his face, like nothing had happened. For 90 minutes, he was perfect. Every song flawless. Every joke landed. The audience loved him. Vinny Morello sat in the front row the entire time, arms crossed, stone-faced, radiating hatred. Dean never looked at him, not once. He gave him nothing. After the show, Dean's manager was waiting in the dressing room, looking, worried. Dean, we have a problem. Vinny's telling people you disrespected him. His guys are spreading it around the casino. This could get ugly. Dean poured himself a drink. Let it get ugly. Dean, this is Vincent Morello. He's connected. He's dangerous. He made jokes about Bill. Nobody does that. I don't care who they are. But Dean, no buts. I'm not apologizing. I'm not backing down. If Vinny wants a war, he can have one. His manager left, shaking his head. Dean sat alone, thinking about Bill, about all those years Bill had protected him, about the hole in his heart that never healed after Bill died. He had done the right thing tonight. He knew it, but he also knew there would be consequences. 2 days later, a man showed up at Dean's house, well-dressed, polite, but clearly connected. Mr. Martin, my name is Anthony Cerno. I'm from New York. I'm here because certain people are concerned about the situation between you and Mr. Morello. Dean stood in the doorway, didn't invite him in. What situation? The confrontation, the apology you extracted from him. Extracted, I asked for an apology. He gave one. That's it. Mr. Morello feels he was coerced, that you threatened him with public humiliation. I gave him a choice. He chose to apologize rather than be embarrassed. That's not coercion. That's consequences. Cerno nodded slowly. Mr. Martin, between you and me, I think Vinny was out of line. What he said about your brother was wrong. But you need to understand something. Men like Vinny don't apologize. When they do, it costs them, makes them look weak. That's not my problem. It becomes your problem when Vinny decides to make you pay for embarrassing him. Is that a threat? It's a warning from people who would rather not see this escalate. Dean thought for a moment. Then he spoke carefully. I'll let it go. On one condition, Vinny never mentions my brother again, never talks about my family, never makes jokes about people I've lost. He does that, we're done. Permanently. Cerno nodded. I'll convey your terms, but I need something from you too. You can't talk about what happened, can't spread this story around. Fine. But if Vinny comes near me again, if he says one word about Bill, all bets are off. Understood. Cerno left. Dean closed the door and leaned against it, feeling the weight of what had just happened. He had stood up to a mob boss, forced him to apologize, and now the mob was sending negotiators to make peace. It should have felt like a victory, but it just felt exhausting. 6 months passed. Dean heard that Vinny was back in Vegas, staying at the Stardust, keeping a low profile. Dean was having dinner with Sammy Davis Jr. and Joey Bishop when a waiter came over. Mr. Martin, there's a gentleman who would like to speak with you. Mr. Morello. The table went quiet. Sammy looked at Dean. You don't have to. It's fine. Dean stood up. I'll be right back. He followed the waiter to a private booth in the back. Vinny sat alone. He looked older, tired, but his eyes were still sharp. Dean, thanks for coming over. Dean didn't sit down. What do you want, Vinny? To apologize. Properly. Not because someone made me. Because I want to. Dean studied him, looking for the angle, the trap. Why? Because I've thought about what happened, what I said. And I was wrong. Really wrong. Vinny looked down at his drink. I lost a brother too. Long time ago. Younger brother. Got killed in a robbery. And when he died, I felt like part of me died with him. Like there was this hole that could never be filled. People said stupid things, insensitive things, and it made me want to hurt them. He looked up at Dean. That's probably how you felt when I said what I said. And I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Dean sat down slowly. Why are you telling me this? Because I've been thinking about legacy, about what I leave behind. I don't want to be remembered as the guy who mocked a dead man, who was cruel for no reason. They sat in silence for a moment. Finally, Dean spoke. Bill was a good man, the best man I ever knew. He worked hard, took care of his family, never asked for anything. And when I got successful, he was happy for me, genuinely happy. No jealousy, no resentment, just pride in his little brother. He sounds like a good man. He was. And when you suggested he died from jealousy, it wasn't just wrong. It was the opposite of who he was. Vinny nodded. I understand. And I'm sorry. Not just for what I said, but for making you defend him against something that should never have been said. Dean looked at Vinny for a long moment, and he saw something he hadn't seen before. Regret. Real regret. Apology accepted. They shook hands, and something shifted between them. Dean went back to his table. Sammy and Joey were waiting. Everything okay? Yeah. Everything's okay. What did he want? To apologize. For real this time. Sammy raised an eyebrow. You believe him? Dean thought about it. Yeah, I think I do. That night, back in his hotel room, Dean took out an old photograph. Bill, standing in front of their father's barbershop in Steubenville, young, smiling, alive. Dean held the photo for a long time. I defended you, Bill. When someone tried to disrespect your memory, I stood up for you. The way you always stood up for me. He put the photo back in his wallet, where he would carry it for the rest of his life. Some people thought what happened that night was about courage, about standing up to a dangerous man, about refusing to back down. But that's not really what it was about. It was about love. The kind of love that doesn't fade when someone dies. The kind that makes you brave when you need to be. The kind that won't let you stay silent when someone disrespects the people who mattered most. Dean Martin had that kind of love for his brother Bill. And nothing, not mob bosses, not fear, not consequences, could make him betray it. That's the real story of July 1968. Not that Dean Martin was brave, though he was. Not that he stood up to power, though he did. But that he loved his brother, and he proved it when it mattered most. Bill Crocetti died in 1965, but his little brother made sure he was never forgotten. Made sure his memory was protected. Made sure that anyone who tried to diminish him paid a price. That's what family means. That's what Dean Martin understood. And that's why we still tell this story today.